Groove on. I'm in a Mercedes SL 230. It's a 2004. I'm going to talk about the various features that you get on your screen. It took a little while to work this out, but over the years I've kind of fathomed it out. Now, the buttons I'm going to be using, when I talk about the arrow up and down button, it's this one, the upper left oval button. The menu button backwards and forwards is this one. And over here you've got the minus and plus, which you'll need to navigate within the sub-menus. So if I can balance my phone slightly here, I can then talk you through various things which you'll find really useful. So let's talk about, let's go to this screen. This is good. Right, so on this screen here, by default, it comes up with the total mileage the vehicle's done. So for me, 148,000 miles. It's got -1, that's the outside temperature. But importantly, what you probably may not know if you're new to using these this particular dashboard is that the -1, when you press the up arrow, which is the upper left button on your steering wheel, it shows you what the miles per hour is, and that's real lifetime as you're driving along. Now that's really important if you're living within a busy city. I work in London, so I need to have that for all the speed cameras. 1 minute is 20 mile an hour, the next minute is 50 mile an hour, then it's 40. Yeah, it's so important that I have and I can look down rather than you looking at the needle, which is a bit vague. So that tells me accurately. Well, when I say accurately, all cars by default are always slower, and they do that to allow for tolerances with tyre sizes, inflation sizes. That all adds to the speed that you're travelling at due to wear of the tread and how big the outside diameter of the tyre is. So fortunately, if you're doing 42 mile an hour, for example, and you're in a 40 mile an hour zone, you're going to be okay because it actually real time it's 40 mile an hour. So the left hand side is always in kilometers, and unless you change that, and I'm going to go into the settings now and show you some of those changes you can do. So the settings one is this screen here. You've got the settings on the left with the little dots, and on the right hand side it's talking about holding it for 3 seconds to reset, so we don't need that. So press the up arrow on the left hand side of your steering wheel, and you're going to go into sub menus now, as you can see on the right hand side here. So instrument cluster. Now to get into the instrument cluster, you press the up arrow again, and now I'm in the menu which is within the settings called temperature indicator. Now I've got a choice of plus or minus, which will then denote centigrade or Fahrenheit. Now to get the plus or minus, just think about what's on the steering wheel. I've got a plus or minus, so if I press minus, I'm going to be reading in Fahrenheit. Well, I'm in the UK. I pretty much grew up with both Fahrenheit and centigrade. I started off my life knowing what 80 degrees was, and then as time's gone on with European Union, etc., we're now in centigrade. So I'm very much kind of 20 degrees or 21 degrees. I know what sort of temperature that is. Right, so that's that. So I'm going to keep it in centigrade. Press the up arrow again, and you're then going to go into the digital speedometer. Now this is what I was talking about just about 2 minutes ago. I've got mine as miles. So if I go back, if I go up and press kilometers now, okay, and now once you've got kilometers highlighted, you then have to come back out of that menu by pressing the down arrow key, which is the left hand side button. Back out, as if you're on a computer. Back out, keep going, and then press the menu button. Right, so there we go. So I'm now back to sort of default screens. Now if I press go through the screen menus, go back to the one with the temperature, which actually is the speed that you're traveling, because there's another menu behind it. If I go back to that, there it is. So now we've gone up. Look at that, gone up half a degree. Must be because I'm talking. Right, so now watch what happens. If I press the up arrow on the left hand side of my steering wheel, this should say kilometers. There she goes. So now I'm reading kilometers an hour as opposed to what the mile an hour was. So I'm going to go back because I don't want that. So back into settings, back into instrument cluster, press up again, past that because we've done the temperature. I want to leave it at centigrade. There's the kilometers. Press the minus key on the right hand side, top of the steering wheel. That'll take it to miles, and then just go through the next one on the menu, and it will hold it. It will save it in that position. So back into settings again. Right, instrument cluster. That's the options that you've got. Centigrade, miles and kilometers. Oh, and you've got the language, of course. You want English, Dutch, French, etc., etc. Now, if you go down this menu using the minus key, you'll go into the next one, which is lighting. Hit lighting, and now press the up arrow on the left-hand side to go into that sub-menu like this. Here we go. So light circuit, headlamp mode, you got manual or constant. Now I have it on manual. Constant, yeah, you can try switching between these two modes. It's up to you, but I just prefer manual. I can't remember specifically what the differences are, so I'm going to leave it as that. If I press the up arrow again, I then go into locator lighting. Now this is where, you know, you come home late at night, you haven't got lights which get you to the house, it's dark, it's winter, you can turn those on, and they turn on the car lights and the fog lights for a set period of time. So if I go now into pressing the up arrow of the left hand side of your steering wheel, I've got options. I've got 30 seconds, 15 seconds or 0 seconds. I quite like the fact that, you know, it doesn't go mental with all these different like settings and seconds. Keep it simple. You don't need to have anything less or more than that. I like it as 15 seconds because that way I can tell by the time I get to the house and look behind me, the lights go off and I know that is all good. And that's what they call headlights delay switch. So back out of that, go back into settings, and let's see what else we can play with. Settings, now go back into the up arrow. So we've done lighting, right? So now we're going to go down one more. We've got vehicle, and the vehicle, if I press the down key, which is the negative one, now go into the up arrow on the left hand side of the steering wheel, and you got here speed limit, winter tires. Obviously winter tires, I'm sure you know, got a softer compound. It allows the better traction in the snow. So I don't want to change that because I haven't got winter tires. Let's see what the next one is. Automatic door lock. So this is good. So you got on, off. Now I have mine on. That just basically means that it comes on, sorry, the doors lock within, I think, you going over 5 miles an hour, they automatically lock. Interior motion sensor with roof open. Now if you put the roof down, I'm sure you know you don't want the motion sensor because it will go off if you park the vehicle and somebody walks past potentially. So I have that switched off. And going back into settings, now we're back to the outside menu. So the last one we want to go into is convenience. So back down on the right hand side of your steering wheel using the left minus button, and then once you've selected it so it's highlighted, then press the up arrow on your left hand side top of your steering wheel. Right, now you've got these easy entry feature, and what that is when you get into the vehicle, the steering wheel will move up and down with the seat, and that's currently selected. So my seat is going to go back, and because being a coupe, you know, the doors are really long and it's quite difficult in a tight space. So the seat goes back, the steering column will go up to allow you to get in, because sometimes you end up hitting your thighs on the underside of the steering wheel. But if you don't want that and you're happy with it, you can just have it so that it's just the steering column by using the plus and minus. I'll go up here. So look, your steering column only, or you can have the feature off, and that's the easy entry. So simple as that. Go back. I think you can go down one more. There's one for mirrors which is really good. I can't remember where that is. Go into that one. Is it that one? Convenience? No, not that. You see how steering column off on, key dependent. There's another couple of settings there. There's one for mirrors which is good. So vehicle lighting, we've done that. Key dependent, off, on. Right, here we are. So this means basically, do you need the key with you so that it will start? So they got off or on if you've got keyless go. Mirror setting when parked. Now this is good. So when you park the vehicle and you lock the car, I mean, most cars these days, they don't have any chirp or the alarm, but a nice little way that you know you've got your car locked is that the mirrors fold, and that's what that feature is there. So mirrors on, so it'll fold when you press the remote. Folding mirrors when locking, basically, yeah. And I think, there's, yeah, that's it. If you want to, by the way, have the mirror on the left-hand side dip as you engage into reverse, what you can do is press the left-hand side mirror adjust and leave it in that position. And then by default, as you engage reverse, that switch, which is on the left-hand side down, or sorry, if you're in America, it's going to be the right, but basically the passenger side switch button, which will allow you to adjust it, leave it in that position on the passenger side. When you hit reverse, the mirror dips. When you go forward, it goes back up again. Right, one other thing I was going to talk about rushing through this is I want to check my oil level. Now to check the oil level, I believe, is it in this one? Yes, so go back to that menu. So go back to this one with the main miles that you've done. Press the left arrow up, and then you get the miles from the last time you reset. Press the left arrow up one more time, and you get the little spanner. Now it's telling me I've got a service in 3,800 miles, so I'm good for that. Next time I press the menu up, engine oil level, measuring now. Now the correct way to measure oil is when the vehicle is not on. It really threw me when I first started doing this. You can see on the right hand side it says engine oil level OK, so it does not need the car to be on. It just means that the vehicle needs to be stationary, but the key, or if you've got keyless go, you need to have all these lights on like they are up here just before you crank the engine, and then it will run a check with the sensors to ensure that it's good. If it's not, it usually says you've got to put a litre in. If you're in America, it would be like a couple of quarts or whatever. So yeah, let's do that one more time. So up arrow, and you come to the spanner. Here we go. Engine oil measuring. Measurement correct only if vehicle level, which it is. So it's done the test and it's come back engine oil level OK. I hope that's made it a little bit easier. It's just playing with it. You know, if there's anything you want me to specifically say, stick it down in the points below. I know everyone bangs out about subscriptions. I do really appreciate them though, because I'm trying to get to 1,000. It's taking forever, but I just enjoy helping people. If I can save you money and save you grief and time, that's what these are all about. So thanks very much for listening and watching. See you next time. Bye for now.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.